Terry Alexander grew up near Camden in the heart of the Arkansas timberlands.
My dad, he was a logger, and I guess that's kind of what got me interested in it. He was a logger, and I would go out and work with him. Didn't really know much about college, or what college was all about, and so I was just want to cruise on out of high school there and just be done with it. But my forestry teacher in high school, had two of Mr. Jack Warnick and Mr. Willie Burns. They came up there and took me out of history and put me in chemistry. I said, well, what are you guys doing? And so they said, you're going to forestry school.
As a bright student, his academic achievements and involvement with FFA State Forestry Contest made Terry stand out.
My teachers called me one day and he said someone down in the office that they wanted me to meet. And so I went down and there sat a gentleman there and I found out he was Dr. J. Charles Lee. And he told me that he was the Dean of Forestry at UAM. And he commenced to telling me about the School of Forestry and that my teachers were very supportive and thought that I would be a good candidate, because if I did decide to come, then I would be the first African American to ever come into forestry at UAM. And you know, as a 17, 18-year-old, you know, things like that doesn't really register.
Ultimately, Terry decided he would pursue a degree in forestry because of a football scholarship offer.
The head coach over here, Coach Cruz, met me on the field and said, we're excited, we'll see you at UAM in 2 weeks. I said, they must really want me to be at this school, because Dr. Lee had come over and talked to me, and Coach Cruz had met me after the game. And so I began to really get excited about it. And so that was the journey, I think, that really got me really thinking that college, you know, must be something to it. This is something I want to do, and so let's go for it. When I walked into class, I looked in the class, I turned around and left. And so Dr. Lee, he came out and said, Alexander, what class are you looking for? I said, I'm looking for Intro to Forestry. He said, well, this is it. I said, well, Tuck, I can't go in there. And he said, well, why not? I said, well, because there are no more blacks in there. And he said, well, we had this discussion when I came over to talk to you. I said, yeah, we did, but I didn't really think it was going to be like that. By the end of the class, he convinced me that this is where I needed to be. And so I went back in the classroom there, and so from that point on, you know, things just began to come together.
A supportive forestry faculty and understanding coaching staff helped Terry balance the rigorous forestry program with a demanding student-athlete schedule, something that had not been done before.
They was able to work with me, and they was able to work through this to where I was able to meet the fall schedule and then also meet the spring labs. And that way it all worked together to where, you know, I was able to be, I think, successful at both.
Terry was successful on the field, setting UAM records in game, season, and career rushing yards. But athletics was really just a mechanism for Terry to pursue academic and later professional success. The forestry school connected Terry with a summer internship at International Paper, jump-starting a career there.
You know, things just worked out, and once I finished at UAM, I went to work there full-time and worked up through the system there, from the associate forester up to senior staff forester, and then we begin to move into some other areas there. So it just worked out really great, you know, at UAM, and in spite of the initial impression that I had of it, that this is not for me, but it was a great opportunity, and it's been a great adventure, you know, since then.
Terry worked with International Paper for more than a decade in forestry and was able to continue with the company to keep meeting his long-term goals and expand his professional horizons. Terry joined Weyerhaeuser in the Pacific Northwest to focus on the pulp and paper industry, and was appointed to state boards and assisted in making industry-wide safety improvements. But when considering his greatest professional achievements, Terry's proudest points involve mentorship and sharing his own growth.
I used this theme that, you know, remember Star Trek, boldly go where no man has gone before, and they asked me, how did you feel doing that? And I said, well, at the outset it was very nerve-wracking, but it enabled me to reach within my reserves and to do something that has not been done. And I think it has had an impact and has been an encouragement to a number of younger people.
His ties to UAM remain strong today. He keeps in touch with former teammates and friends he's met by returning to campus often.
I see the role of an alumnus to continually be present at the university. And one thing that I have always remembered is I never forgot the way back to UAM.
For his professional achievements and steadfast support of the university, UAM is proud to recognize Mr. Terry Alexander, the 2021 Distinguished Alumnus.